place now teems with energy. I should be quick. Into a pit of scorpions for that.
Alright, so starting off on the skill tree here. Of course, this is going to be our starting point. Then we'll just make our way up here. Cast speed's pretty quick, not too bad. Now, one thing I probably will end up going to is going into these mana regeneration nodes. Since we're casting so many comets, it's just siphoning our mana like crazy. Freeze buildup, cold damage, yeah, of course. And we're going to go into exploit, get some more ailments on, the rares and uniques. Now, early game, physical damage hurts very much. So trying to get some armor where you can is very important, along with strength. That's why I have a few strength notes here. The other ones are just to get the imp requirements for the gems. Moving along. Went into spell damage over here. Took these nodes. Went down into more energy shield. Some mana regen here. Now this one you could probably get rid of, but I don't think your mana pool is going to be a giant issue. Making our way up. Going to more freeze build up, because obviously if you freeze more comets. Now I did try these nodes. I didn't think they were all that great, but it could be because I didn't have any armor to negate physical damage, but we'll see. Gem slot just to make our way over here. I got pretty lucky with this gem. But I went up here first, took this other jewel slot. Now this is a pretty good jewel slot for this build. Of course you want spell damage, LE damage, meta skills gain 5% increased energy, which is huge. And then I just started doing the fireball, so the minions hit chance is okay. Going up, increase cold damage, freeze build up. Level to all cold skills is probably the most important one here. Take this one first. And then go over to freeze build up here. As we go over here, now with the icicles, they're pretty tanky if you don't have this node. And you want these things to be exploding as much as possible. Going over here, just a random jewel because I needed to get down into this part. So I just tossed that in there. Oh, right here. So this one's very important too, because meta skills gain 8% increased energy, so it allows you to cast comets more often. Strength, cold damage. Now I'm going to make my way over here into these. Increase filled up, increased damage with hits against frozen enemies. They're always frozen, you're always casting comets. And then we're just going to keep going into these ones eventually. Now, one thing over here is you could potentially go into these penetrates cold resist nodes. I don't know how important those are going to be, but we will see. So I guess the most important part is just getting more mana regen at this point. If you guys are interested, I'll keep making videos as I get progression on this, but we'll see what happens. Thank you. Now as for my current gem setup, with the wand, I like having Power Siphon on it because of this call here. So especially with bosses, if they get down to a certain threshold, you can just call them and kill them right away. It's sort of like an execute. Elemental Storms from my passive skill. It's right here. So every time you crit, it'll put like a little ring of frost down. It was good for helping kill the icicles. But now that I've got the fireball, I can probably get rid of this and go into, let's see, this shock one seems pretty good. And then if you can make your way down here, you're just going to do more damage to things over time. Cast on freeze, of course. This is how we're doing our comets. Impetus is pretty important because it's going to help with your energy in order to cause more comets whenever you freeze. And then spell echo, it's just going to echo once. Pretty powerful. Frost bomb, strip away. It's going to help with your exposure there. And then the persistence just has a skill last longer. Cold snap's pretty good if there's one frozen enemy that didn't happen to get hit by your comet or your fireball. You can just cold snap them and they usually explode right away. And then we can hard cast hard comet. This one, just want it because it's going to give you more crit whenever you do hard cast it. More area damage. And then this one's probably the most important one. Whenever you do hard cast it, it's going to cast it twice. And it's, even though it's 50% less damage on the second one, it's still pretty strong. Now Frost Wall is probably the bread and butter here. So whenever you put these down, especially like on a boss that's going to cause the freeze buildup, they're going to explode and the bosses are going to get frozen, so you can either hard cast hard comet or allow it to cast on freeze. So we have Spell Cascade, Icicle, and Glaciation. So Icicle, these are pretty, the actual sickles are pretty tanky initially, so having this and the passive in the skill tree to have them die quicker is very important. And then when they explode, it's going to cause more freeze buildup. Now Fireball, I just have Scatter Shot here and Conduction, just try to get them to shock in order to do more damage to them. And then Raging Spirits here, I don't know if this is any good yet, but since we are doing Fireball, just have some minions out there. And this, I put the mana regen in there just because it's always active and gives you more mana regen. And then Feeding Frenzy, minions do more damage, but they take more damage. You're not too worried about them dying because they always come out whenever you recast Fireball. Now as far as the gear goes, just kind of base it on whatever you find. It's not too easy to get a hold of nowadays and upgrade. Although they did just buff the currency drop rate, so we'll see if that helps any. So this is the wand I'm currently using. Got pretty lucky. Spell damage, cold damage, plus $1 cold spell skills. The cold spell is probably what you want on this, so just keep that in mind. Helmet here, nothing great. Amulet. Now early on you probably do want plus to spirit, but eventually I'll probably transition this into life or something. Focus here. Body armor here. Rings, just find resistance on, life, whatever. Boots, you probably want just move speed. Belt. Now these gloves are going to be pretty important if you want to do the fireball skill. Because all the fire damage is going to be converted to cold. And obviously we're going into cold pretty heavy here. Charm, I have fire resist on now. I mean, I just kind of use them as I need them, with poison, shock, whatever.